I want y'all to take y'all time out just for a little while and just think about this. This is a real serious question. Just really think about this. Why is it that the Caucasian people are more concerned about the rise of population when it comes to the original people of the planet, so-called black people that is? But they're not concerned about the Mexican race. They're not concerned about the Japanese increase in population. They're not concerned about the Chinese increase in population. Shit, they're not concerned about no other race other than mainly the original people. They may be somewhat concerned about Latinos because they basically black people too. So-called black people. But why is it that they have this hidden agenda and in some aspects open agenda when it comes to like cops murdering black people, getting away with it and shit because they are Freemasons who are sworn at the oath to protect one another? Why is it that they are specifically targeting the original people of the planet more so than any other race on the planet? If you put everything back in order the way it originally was, before Leopold killed like 12 to 14 million natives on the planet, black people that is. If you put everything back in order before um, the 200 million original owners of the planet, 200 million owners of the planet that were murdered on the voyage through the transatlantic slave voyage to the Americas, we would overpopulate all other races. Not to mention the Tasmanian people that was murdered, that was extinct, that was basically obliterated. Not to mention just in the Americas, the natives, the original owners, the so-called black people as far as like the Native Americans go. The Pacific Islanders, all of these, all over the world, Caucasians have targeted the original owners of the planet, black people that is, through mass murder. Let's not forget about the the Arab slave trade and the mass murder during that time. Now let's just tie this shit together. Is it really and truly that the Caucasian is the natural enemy to the black race, the original owners of the planet? Is it a fact or is it a questionable debate that the Caucasian race has been forever since they've been on the planet the original owner's devil? Well, if you let history tell it, yes, there's no way around this. Now, if you go into the Holy Quran, chapter 2, verse 30, it reads, and this is to back up my allegations. We're going to use the Bible too. But in the Quran, it reads, and mention, O Muhammad, when your Lord said to the angels, indeed I will make upon the earth a successive authority. They said, will you place upon it one who causes corruption therein and sheds blood? Okay, let's not forget that the Caucasians, everywhere they went on the planet, they shedded blood, so they fit this description now. While we exalt you with praise and declare your perfection. He Allah said, indeed, I know that which you do not know. Okay, so now we have a plan that is being foretold to the angels. Alright, now let's just read the last one just for a little bit more clarity. Just think when your Lord said to the angels, lo, I am about to place a vicegerent on earth. They said, will you place on it one who will spread mischief and shed blood? while we celebrate your holy and extol your holiness. He said, surely I know what you do not know. Yeah, think about it, y'all.
Or lazy. They haven't been on the earth as long as brown-eyed people have, and that's a fact. Yeah, the first scientists at the University of Southern California traced the DNA molecule back. Now, look at this boy. He wants to talk. Is he being a good listener? No. These people know the listening skills? No. And if they know the listening skills, why aren't they practicing them? As I was saying,
we can see where this is going.
University of Southern California, sit down and listen. Trace the DNA molecule. Trace the DNA molecule back using computers 2 or 3 years ago, and in order to find out where the first modern human being evolved on this earth. And what they found was that the first modern human being who evolved on this earth was a black female. And in every one of your genes runs the memory of that first black female. People of color have been on the earth longer than white people have. That's a fact. You need to be aware of that.
Now, being that we got that established, it is only wise to say that the original owners of the planet are the pre-Adamites. And every other race is considered a Adam and a Eve. Japanese, Chinese, okay, and the rest of them, and the Caucasians, the rest of them are just mixed from these races. All of them from fucking Mexican and all the rest of them are mixed. The original races, let me say this clearly, are Chinese, Japanese, and the Caucasian. The so-called black people are the original owners from which all of them came. Okay? The highly melanated people. Now check it out. In the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 26, it reads, and God said, let us make mankind, meaning kind of like a real man. Because he's not the real man. He's kind of like a man. Mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground. This is talking about the pre-Adamites making Caucasians, Chinese, and Japanese in their image. But it's talking about a specific race when it goes back to the Quran, where specifically it says and mentioned, O Muhammad, when your Lord said to the angels, indeed, I will make upon the earth a successive authority. They said, will you place upon it one who causes corruptions therein and sheds blood? Now think about this. He's talking about a specific one that goes all over the planet Earth just killing. He has a lust for blood. Can't help it. It's in his genetic makeup to just kill. He's a two-legged beast. This race. And this goes direct and corresponding because it says that God made him a successive authority. And you can't be a successive authority unless you just take shit. Okay? Unjustifiedly. So you got to think about this. Who went all over the planet, dominated the original people of the planet? Not the Chinese, not the Japanese, it was the Caucasians. Bam. So when they go in the Bible and it says, let us make man in our image, this is what it's talking about. Who has will be able to rule over everything. You can't get licensed in the motherfucker. You can't fish without having a license. You can't fly in the air without having a license. You can't do shit without having a license through them of a system that they set up through racism. Will I bite my tongue? Fuck no.
Excuse me, everyone, I have a brief announcement to make. Jesus was black, Ronald Reagan was the devil, and the government is lying about 9/11. Thank you for your time and good night.
No! That can't be true!
You're having that dream where you made the white people riot, weren't you?
But I was telling the truth.
How many times have I told you you better not even dream about telling white folk the truth? You understand me? Shoot. Making white people riot. You better learn how to lie like me. I'm gonna find me a white man and lie to him right now.
Unlike my boy on Boondocks, I'm not about to lie to y'all about none of this shit. Now, according to the Bible, it reads, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. This means that the God is not present while the accursed the wicked, the two-legged beast, the mass murderer rules. It only means that the God's word is present through the mouth of the ascended masters, the prophets, and those that have a sanctified soul. Okay? That's all it means. But it means that the original owners will rise up, and this is prophetic, that the Christ consciousness in us will awaken due to our pineal gland neuromelanin in the age of Aquarius. Okay, and they know this shit. That's why they target us more than anybody.
Now, but you are blue-eyed. Would you want your daughter to marry a blue-eyed person?
I'd be very careful of the one I chose.
Why?
Because no, my daughter has brown eyes. Both my daughters and one of my sons are brown-eyed. Because you need to be careful about mixing the races as far as eye color is concerned. You need to be aware, folks. You need to be aware that it was blue-eyed people in Germany. It was blue-eyed people in Germany who oversaw the killing of 10 million human beings. And one of the ways you went into the gas chamber in Germany was eye color. If you had brown eyes and a good German name, they threw you into the gas chamber because they said you might be trying to pass. You were a Jewish person trying to pass. I didn't invent this. Adolf Hitler did. And there are people in this country today, neo-Nazis, the Aryan nation, who are now absolutely trying to do the same thing again. And unless you are aware of it, it will happen again. We have 59,000 excess deaths among the black population of this country per year now. Now, if we had that great a number of excess deaths among the white population, we would do something about it. What do you mean by melting pot? That we put everybody together and mix them all up and they all come out the same so that white folks feel comfortable with them, so that blue-eyed folks feel comfortable with them? We don't need a melting pot in this country, folks. We need a salad bowl. In a salad bowl, you put in the different things. You want the vegetables, the tomatoes, the lettuce, the cucumbers, the onions, the green peppers, to maintain their identity. You appreciate differences. A melting pot does not appreciate differences, and this country ought to be about appreciating differences. That female wants us to be the same.
Nazi?
Do I embrace it? I don't try to push it away.
Well, you're wearing a swastika on your shirt.
Exactly.
And you've got swastika flags.
Rural America spoke up when they elected Trump. Rural America.
And by rural America, he means white America.
We're staring down the barrel of a gun here in white America. There's still 193 million white Americans. Yes, the vast majority of them are in their 60s and 70s, will be in the ground in the next 20 years, and therefore we have the possibility of becoming a minority in our own country. A possibility.
It sounds to me
of becoming a minority in our own country.
Like you're afraid of being me. And being me...
This is my country.
...is great. This is also my country.
You guys didn't win the culture war.
He invited us on his property to talk, but when he doesn't like our conversation, he explodes.
Get the out of here now!
Oh, that white rage. You know, I've heard this before. You might have heard of it too. White people in the United States, a lot of them are under the impression that they won something called the culture wars. Something they literally made up in their mind. These white people don't understand. They're no different from some type of Islamic terrorists coming to this country, taking over, and start making laws. You're no different. You were terrorists, and you took over a country. Wasn't no culture wars. You was terrorists, and you came over and took over a country.
So this is a precision tool that now allows us to take this protein RNA complex and introduce it into cells or tissues to correct mutations at sites where we know there's a deleterious change in the genetic code. So I wanted to show you an example of how this can be utilized. This protein complex can actually be injected directly into fertilized eggs of a mouse. And in the experiment you'll see, we're targeting a gene that is responsible for the black coat color in mice. And so normally these mice have beautiful glossy black coats, and once we make this targeted change, we then implant these edited eggs back into a female mouse, and when she gives birth to pups, you'll see that the pups are now mostly white. And the remarkable thing about this experiment is that when these mice grow up, you can test them and show that every cell in the body has this single genetic change that gives rise to the white coat color, but otherwise they're absolutely normal. So they are normal mice, no mutations elsewhere in the genome. This is a type of experiment that used to take at least a year to create a mouse like this, and now it can be done in a few weeks and by people that don't have to have special expertise. So this is a technology it's been very exciting over the last 2.5 years to see this technology taking off. These are publications in the scientific literature. It's been sort of exponential growth of publications, people using this technology for all sorts of applications. And so some of these include making changes, targeted genetic changes in plants, in fungi, in animals that are important agriculturally, in animals that are important to us as pets, and also in thinking about human health, also to do things like make changes in stem cells, which are cells that can give rise to new organs. Also to make changes in animals that are important as models of human disease, such as mice and monkeys. And we think within the not too distant future, it will be possible to actually use this technology to make changes in humans.
So now it's clear that they're trying to find all type of methods, whether it be through scientific experiment, to extend their life expectancy on this earth. But according to prophecy, they only have 6,000 years to rule in mischief and the shedding of blood on this earth, according to the Holy Quran.
Give me my credit card number?
Yes.
Wonderful. Just one more thing. The abortions will be done specifically for black community abortions.
I will mark it in such a way that definitely it will.
Oh, great. On a black baby.
Yes.
Thank you. Great.
The exact amount we charge right now is $450 for an abortion.
Okay, $450.
Mm-hmm. And we can definitely designate it for an African American.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, and if I want to make to fund, because this is a if I wanted to help fund multiple abortions, could you also specify that this could be done for a specific group?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm really excited, because I really face trouble with affirmative action. I don't want my kids to be disadvantaged, against blacks in college, and the less blacks out there, the better. So.
Yeah, it's a strange time for sure.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, thank you very much, Jeremy. And if you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call. My extension is 304.